Speaker, sir. I thank the honourable member for the question. Mr. Speaker, sir, this government welcomes the pride and confidence, the remarkable level of investment confidence being shown in an economy, as reflected in the 212 investment projects valued at an impressive 6.2 billion. It is important for me to highlight the composition of these 212 registered investment projects in terms of their stages of implementation or development. These projects are at varying phases of progress, some still conceptual, others in pre-development, and a significant number already under construction. For the information of this House, 86 projects valued at approximately 1.67 billion are currently under construction. 73 projects valued at 2.3 billion are in the pre-development phase, awaiting some remaining approval and about to start groundbreaking. And the rest, 53 projects worth an estimated 2.2 billion remain in the conceptual stage. These projects, Mr. Speaker, sir, are spread right across Fiji and covers 14 key sectors of our economy, from tourism and manufacturing to ICT, energy, agriculture, transportation, education, and health. The details in the list, so if an honourable member want a copy, they can get a copy. Mr. Speaker, sir, at the heart of the government's development philosophy is inclusive growth. That is, Fijian workers and Fijian business truly benefit from investments and growth, especially for MSMEs, which are the backbone of our country. And to achieve this, government has adopted several practical and impactful strategies as reflected in the 2025-2026 national budget to ensure these projects bring real and lasting benefit to our people and the communities. Mr. Speaker, those investment projects will lead to empowering workers through education and skills. First, Mr. Speaker, sir, government remains steadfast in its commitment to education, skills development, and workforce empowerment. We know the future belongs to those who are skilled and prepared. That is why we're investing strongly in TVET, ensuring our young Fijians are ready to take up the jobs created by those investment projects. Through the 2025-26 budget, we are increasing TVET scholarships from 2,780 to 4,500, including expanded opportunities for students with special skills so that more Fijians can gain the technical expertise demanded by sectors such as construction, tourism, ICT, renewable energy, and manufacturing. We are acknowledging the gap that was there. In addition, the macro qualification grant expanded to 3,000 awards, targets early school dropouts, unemployed youth, and adults, providing short-term competency-based training in areas such as construction, hospitality, automotive, traditional handicraft, performing arts, community tailoring, and women's small business operations. This ensures that MSMEs and local entrepreneurs can actively participate in supply chains, provide services, and grow alongside major projects. For specialized skills not available locally, the government is expanding overseas TVET scholarships in priority fields such as water and sewerage, manufacturing, hydrology, aviation, nautical sciences, equipping Fijians with advanced capabilities to support high-value investment projects. By investing in these high-valued programs, Mr. Speaker, sir, the government ensures that our Fijian workers are skilled, employable, and ready to seize opportunities, while MSMEs are strengthened to supply goods, services, and expertise, turning the 6.2 billion investment pipeline into real jobs, business growth, and community prosperity. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, we are making it easier to do business in Fiji particularly for our MSMEs. Through the 2025-26 budget, the government has strengthened support for local businesses, ensuring that they can actively participate in our growing economy and the 6.2 billion investment projects. Key initiatives, including the Trade Enhancement Program, or TEP, which provides grants for micro and small businesses to upgrade equipment, diversify products, and supply goods and services for major projects. The other example is the Young Entrepreneurs Schemes, or the YES, which empowers recent graduates with grants, training and support to start ventures that engage in high-value chains linked to those investments, and the IHRDP, which supports majority Fijian-owned enterprises, cooperatives, and community groups to access funding for value-adding equipment, storage, warehouse, or ecotourism facilities, and diversification, ensuring local businesses can move from subsistence operation to being competitive suppliers to large investment projects. To ensure indigenous Fijians benefit, the Tauke Resource Owners Support and Development Fund provides interest subsidies on loans to help resource owners borrow and expand their business, enabling local enterprises and communities to participate in project supply chains. The NDP, or the Northern Development Program, builds capacity for MSMEs and the Northern Division to access opportunities in tourism, agribusiness, and infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, sir, the MSME strategy and national digital strategy strengthen business capacity, improve market access, and equip local firms with digital tools to engage effectively with large projects. Additionally, climate resilient partnership with ADB and the UNDP provides MSMEs access to insurance, risk mitigation, and technical support, enabling them to operate confidently alongside the major investments. Through this high-impact initiative, Mr. Speaker, sir, Fijian entrepreneurs and MSMEs have a real seat at the table, whether through construction contracts, catering, transport, or supply chains associated with these 212 high-valued projects. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, sir, the government has introduced targeted initiatives and concessions to ensure that Fijian workers and MSMEs directly benefit from our growing economy and the 6.2 billion investment projects. Key measures including the employment taxation scheme, which has been extended until 31st October 2026. The government has also introduced 150% tax deduction for donations to accredited startup programs, including business incubators and entrepreneurs, giving local MSMEs access to mentorship, innovation support, and capital for growth. There's other initiatives, Mr. Speaker. So the fourth, and we are not forgetting our farmers and rural entrepreneurs, the 2025-26 continues targeted agriculture and rural enterprise support, including fertilizer and equipment subsidies and cooperative grants. This initiative strengthens local supply capacity, allowing Fijian producers to better serve hotels, restaurants, and export markets, directly linking rural MSMEs to the benefit of large-scale investment projects. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, the government through Investment Fiji continues to streamline investment facilitation, cutting through bureaucratic delays and making it easier for business to access the information and approvals they need. A key part of this effort is the Business Now platform, which provides a central digital portal for business registration, license application, and access to government services. By making it easier to start and operate a business, Mr. Speaker, sir, the platform empowers Fijian workers and MSMEs to prepare for opportunities created by private sector investments. Mr. Speaker, sir, this investment will continue to generate triple effects, creating employment, boosting demand for local goods and services, and reinforcing overall business confidence. The combined impact of all initiatives from skills training and MSME support to tax incentives, infrastructure investment, and transparent facilitation ensures Fijians are not bystanders but active participants in national development. This is how we build a resilient, inclusive, and prosperous Fiji, Mr. Speaker, sir, where investment grows communities, where success is shared, and where every Fijian has the chance to thrive. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.